Hey guys, it's Beth, and today I have a quick project share for you on some tile coasters that I made using several sheets of paper from my All Seasons 3 pad from the Paper Studio. And I actually did a tutorial on these coasters last summer using some fall paper, so I will link that tutorial in the description box below for you if you'd like to check out how I made them. But today I was just gonna kind of show you the ones I made, and I'll let you know the products that I used. But I actually had needed to restock some 4th of July coaster sets for the little handmade shop that we are in here locally, that we have some of our items for sale in. And so since I was working on this pad, I thought, oh, well, I'll just use some of the 4th of July paper that I had left in the pad. And then I decided to go ahead and do some Christmas sets as well, because I had totally forgotten about these when I was kind of coming up with my list of things that I could make with paper from this pad. So this was kind of an add-on for me. But these are super simple to make. They're very inexpensive to fairly inexpensive to make, and it's a good way to use up some of your paper. So basically, I'm just using a 4 1/4 inch ceramic tile. Mine are from Lowe's. I've heard Home Depot has them. I have not found them at Menards, but I would just check your local home improvement store. And these tiles, the last batch I bought, I got them for 18 cents each. I have gotten them for 16 cents each before. And I think every time I've been, it's been below 20 cents. And that's my area. Again, your area may be different. But like I said, it's just a 4 1/4 inch ceramic tile. I cut my paper down to be 4 1/8 inch square, just so that there's like that little border around the edge. For some reason, I like that. Some people don't. You could totally cut yours to be 4 1/4 inch to cover the whole top of your tile if you liked. And I've seen where people have actually cut it even wider than they're, like add an extra inch or two to each side of the tile, and then they just wrap the paper around so that they don't see any tile from the top. To put the paper on, you'll need Mod Podge, and I use dishwasher safe Mod Podge just because it gives it an extra element of protection against water and moisture. Now, dishwasher safe doesn't mean you can run these through the dishwasher by any means if you want them to last, but it does mean that you could take a wet rag and wipe across, and it's not going to wear away any of the Mod Podge. And I also did use some rubbing alcohol on the tiles just with a paper towel to wipe the top of the tiles off before I went to put my paper on, just to make sure all the dust, the ceramic dust or dust from the store and from transport and all that was gone. And then once I do several coats of the Mod Podge, and then I also do several coats of this triple thick crystal clear glaze from Krylon. And again, that just adds extra protection. It kind of smooths out the top, gets rid of some of the brush lines that I have left, and like I said, just gives it extra protection from sticking and from watermarks and such. And then for the bottoms of mine, I use felt just because I happen to have an overabundance of this tan felt. Like, I have this huge sheet of tan felt left in my stash from something, and so I'm trying to use that up. So these coasters are kind of a win-win just because they are helping me use up my paper as well as some of this tan felt that's been lasting forever. But you could totally use cork. A lot of people use cork on the bottom as well. And for my felt, I cut it to 3 3/4 inch square, or roughly. And that way it's still covering most of the bottom of the tile, but it's not going to show whenever it's sitting. I won't see it if I'm looking at it from the side or from the top. There's not going to be any overhang of felt. Again, your personal preference as to how far to the edge you want to come with your felt or your cork. And I put my felt on with hot glue. You could also use E6000 if you wanted to. I would just stay away from craft glues because you are working with this porous tile surface, so I'm not sure craft glue would hold. So I did a set of 4th of July using this pennant paper. That was the only decent 4th of July paper I had left in this pad. And then I also did a set with this cream background and the pretty red and black reindeer. And then I also did some with the black and the cream and red ornaments. As far as decorating, you could totally add some decorations to these as well. I have added vinyl to the top before. Like on top of my paper, I added a vinyl saying. You could stamp on them if you wanted. I would just use like a StazOn ink or something that is water soluble, water resistant, whatever, because Mod Podge is a water-based sealer, and so you want to make sure your ink isn't going to smear or run once you put the Mod Podge on. You could also ink the edges. I thought about doing that on these coasters, and I've done it in the past on some other sets, but this had kind of more of an elegant look to it, and I didn't want to take away from that with some, you know, semi-messy inking around the edges. So you could also add layers if you wanted to, just try to keep them thin layers, because you don't want to have spots where there's such a difference in depth between your layers that your cup will tip or not sit flat whenever you lay it on the coaster. I have made these for our house, for our living room. We have I think a set for just about every holiday or season, plus a everyday set. And I have made these as gifts, and I also make them to sell both in the shop that we're in locally and for our craft shows. So this is kind of a versatile project. You could use it for yourself, gift to others, or to sell. And I sell mine in sets of 4. Like this, the 4th of July set, that's the only pattern of paper that I had left, really, that I thought was good for coasters. And so this set would be all the same pattern. I'm contemplating with these if I want to do 2 of the reindeer and 2 of the ornament pattern together in a set, or if I just want to do all reindeer or all ornaments. Again, that's up to you how you want to package them. You could do 4 different designs as long as they all coordinate. It's a very versatile project, but like I said, it's a great way to use up some paper. So I will link the products that I use in the description box below, and like I said, I will also link the tutorial that I did last summer. I will link that in the description box below. But if you have any questions on how I made them or what I used, or you know what I use them for, whatever, just let me know that in the comments below. And pricing to sell these in our area, I have found that because most of mine are fairly simple, and for a set of 4 at my craft shows, I sell them for about $12. That's kind of been the price point that I've found that works. If you go on Etsy, you're going to see them for some sell for more, some sell for less than that. It all depends on your area and the detail that you put into them. If I add vinyl to them, then I will sell those sets for a little bit more, just because there's more supplies, more time involved. And also, as far as packaging, I just stack them like this, and then I will take either ribbon or twine, depending on what goes best with the set. And then almost like if I were wrapping a gift, I will do, you know, twine coming from all 4 sides, and then I will tie it off at the top, and then we'll add a tag or whatever, depending on how I'm using these. So I think that's it. I think I covered everything, but like I said, if you have any questions, please let me know. Hopefully you enjoyed this idea, and it's something that you can try either for yourself or for others to use up some of that paper in your stash. And if you like this idea, this video, please give me a thumbs up. If you haven't already, please do subscribe, because there are still a lot more papers left in this stack to use up, and I also have tons more paper in my stash. So hopefully I can continue to provide you guys some ideas, inspiration, and motivation to get that paper in your stash used up, because I promise you it is so much more fun to use it and enjoy it that way than it is to just hoard it and keep it in your stash. But thank you guys so much for your time today, and I hope you have a crafty rest of your day.